Crossley, who rather clips this one. He didn't want to overkick it, and Bohinen is in here, and Nottingham Forest take the lead with a simple goal. Bradford City torn apart. It's the Forest fans who are the first to cheer on the night. Down the line shot, they're onside, they've two in the middle. It's for Schouler, and it's a goal for Bradford City. Paul Schouler gets the equaliser. And Jacobs bounced one in here. Youds is at the back post. There's the header. Ormonroyd coming in. Here's Youds. 2-1 Bradford City. Tommy Wright on to shut. Ormonroyd screaming for it at the back post. Here he comes. Chance for Bradford here. It's there! Ormonroyd. Little is asked to conjure up a teasing cross. That he does. Here comes Wone, here comes Bohinen, and it could go in. It has, and that's tragic for Bradford City. Lars Bohinen, with a header from fully 30 yards, has got Forest a second goal that surely is going to be critical when it comes to the second leg.
Sheffield Wednesday made an ideal start to their tie at Crewe. Peter Ellerton's cross was spooned in by a Belgian international, Mark de Greize. Rob Edwards was to have a decisive hand in this match. Here he was denied by Kevin Pressman. This splendid move involving Steve McGarvey and Wayne Collins ended with Edwards drawing the sides level midway through the first half. Sheffield Wednesday and Mark de Greize claimed their second goal of the match 10 minutes from half-time. Crewe's persistence paid off, and 13 minutes from full-time gained a much-deserved equaliser. And whatever Mark de Greize could do, so too could Rob Edwards. Crewe are now unbeaten in 22 games.
Keegan demands high standards and has the players now to ensure it. Overcomes the corner towards Peacock. It's a goal there. What a great moment too for the Bristolian Darren Peacock. That's a good, deep, high cross, and they're all up there, including Cool. Now Ginola whipped in that cross, looking for Ferdinand. Cover was there, fighting by Sellers, and it's a goal. Scott Sellers celebrates his return to first team duty after 11 months with a finely struck goal. Ferdinand not able to get to that one. Plummer caught a little bit too casual, perhaps. No, doing rather well, the 17-year-old. But still it's Newcastle who come forward. Ginola gets one on the right foot, kites down, Ferdinand picks up the pieces, and that combination comes off again. And if they're looking for targets, well, Bristol City's record defeat in this competition was in 1991 when Sunderland came here and beat them 6-1. So it's 6 to beat. They want to go into the record books, with no disrespect at all to Bristol City, but they're off and away again with Fox. And now Gillespie, and that's for Gillespie, firing Newcastle into a cracking start to the second half. Lee, Ginola, back for Lee, Ferdinand and Watson, and Lee. That's a magnificent goal from Robert Lee.
Alan Ball didn't look like a man with problems at Wycombe Wanderers yesterday. He's certainly putting a brave face on the Blues' current plight. Chairman Francis Lee is equally calm too, it would appear, as Winless City attempted to lift their spirits with a win at the second division club's expense. One thing that did change for Manchester City last night was their luck. Mikel de Sousa, the Wycombe Wanderers striker, appearing to have been brought down by Richard Edghill. Referee Mick Pearce adjudging that the striker had dived. The replay seems to suggest that Edghill's attempt may have been for the ball, but it was the man that he caught. No one would argue that Alan Ball's men deserve a break at the moment, and once again a ruling in their favour. De Sousa's header out of Ike Immel's hand was adjudged illegal too. The replay shows that the decision was probably correct. City's best chance fell to substitute Nicky Summerby late on with a low shot that drifted wide. A draw for City, but their fans booed them at the end.
Oxford met Queen's Park Rangers in the League Cup for the first time since beating them in the 1986 final. But it was the Premiership side who scored first at the Manor Ground. Andy Impey showed neat footwork down the right and crossed for Danny Dichio. DKO had been involved earlier in the move too. It was a tricky night for Rangers though. Their second division opponents had chances to draw level before they did so, thanks to the initiative of winger Chris Allen, who started on a run and just kept going. Oxford looked perfectly capable of causing more problems at Loftus Road.
Corner kick then to the Premiership side. Paul Merson to take it. Confidently turned away, only as far as Merson once again. Bold, on towards Bergkamp, who hooks it across the face of goal, and Arsenal have the lead. And it's their captain Tony Adams who gave them the lead here last season in their 5-0 win, who scores after 10 minutes of the match. He was saying prior to the game that he thought Hartlepool United had a much stronger team than they did 12 months ago, one which was beaten 5-0 by Arsenal here. Although here's Ian Wright menacing once again. Lynch slipped, Merson drives it across, Wright! Oh, splendid goal! Chasing this one. Oh dear! What on earth was Brian Horn thinking of then? He handled the ball a good 10 yards outside his penalty area, and he could well be sent off here. Indeed, he's sent off. He is unable to plead his cause. Now, intriguingly for Hartlepool United, they don't have a reserve goalkeeper on the bench. So, Shane Reddish will have to pull on that multi-coloured goalkeeper's jersey. I think it would be a real achievement for Hartlepool if they could hang on for the next 6 minutes without conceding another goal to the Premiership side. This is Merson with a corner kick. Play by Billing. Dix might have injured himself in attempting to have a shot on goal. Reddish has lost it, and it's been turned in by Tony Adams.
Crystal Palace, last season's semi-finalists, faced a significant test of character at Southend, who led at half-time in their first leg meeting. Paul Byrne probably wouldn't have expected to beat Nigel Martyn with that shot. Martyn, culpable and clearly frustrated about it, at least had the satisfaction of effectively creating the goal that brought the visitors level after the interval. It could hardly have been more straightforward. One long kick bypassed all 10 of Southend's outfield players, and David Hopkin lobbed the advancing goalkeeper to score his first goal for Palace. Palace have started slowly following relegation and had arrived at Roots Hall on the back of 3 successive goalless draws. They went behind again when Gary Jones found space at the far post to head in. It was Hopkin again who found an equaliser as the match moved into its final seconds. The midfielder was only in the Palace side because Dougie Freedman was cup-tied, and it turned out to be a profitable night for him. Georgian Dar's positive run created chaos in the Southend defence, and Hopkin tidied up.
County in the white were ahead inside 5 minutes. A well-rehearsed set-piece resulted in the goal. Chris Beaumont was a target for Mike Flynn's throw, and Martin chalked up his first goal of the season. Former Spurs midfield player Steve Sedgley drew the sides level 2 minutes later, while Stockport County were still complaining about the award of a free kick conceded by Mike Flynn. Stockport goalkeeper Neil Edwards won the Man of the Match award and a mountain bike for his display in this game. This was probably his best save to deny Ipswich Town's Neil Gregory. The return leg is at Portman Road on October the 3rd.
Kevin Miller had a night to forget against Bournemouth. The Watford keeper wanted an extra touch and then wanted a foul calling against Steve Jones and got neither. Jones's 9th goal of the season, putting the Division 2 side on course for a first leg away win over Division 1 opponents. Ian Andrews performed well in Bournemouth's goal, denying Kevin Phillips with a fine first half save, but was beaten after the interval by Richard Johnson. Plenty of work ahead for Watford though, when they travel to Dean Court for the second leg in a fortnight.
Now the Tissier, taking on his man. This is what he's so good at. Will he finish it this time? That is legitimately magic.
Bolton Wanderers had the possession, had the chances, but couldn't find the goal. This move was indicative of the way things were going. David Lee, excellent effort by John McGinley, good save by Kevin Dearden. Then after Scott Green and Richard Snakers combined, Green almost got on the end. Alan Thompson did and glanced the crossbar. The second half pattern was almost identical. Mark Patterson's long ranger, and again Dearden more than equal to it. But he couldn't get near to Richard Snakers. 11 minutes from the end, a long ranger into the corner, a crucial goal for Bolton Wanderers, but it'll definitely be tricky in the second leg at Griffin Park.
First Division Derby quickly established superiority over Second Division Shrewsbury. Paul Simpson's free kick was of Premiership quality. Goal number 2 was less direct, but just as stylish. Mark Stallard back to goal, playing in Sean Flynn to deliver a first-time cross, and then collecting the return to score his first of the season. Shrewsbury carried a greater threat after half-time and won a penalty when Darren Wassell dragged down Dean Spink. Club captain Tommy Lynch seems to be of the philosophy that any penalty has a chance, as long as you hit it hard enough. Derby, though, were the better side and were good value for the advantage they will take back to the baseball ground. Stallard once again holding up the ball well as he waited for support to arrive, and Marco Gabbiadini making light work of flimsy Shrewsbury resistance. 3-1 Derby.
John Aldridge was restricted to one chance against Oldham in midweek. Tony Thomas provided it, and Aldridge did the rest in customary fashion.
Barnsley travelled to the McAlpine Stadium for the second time in 8 days, seeking an improvement on the 3-0 defeat they suffered in the First Division on their last visit. But when Simon Collins strode through to give Huddersfield a first half lead, the visitors were left with a strong sense of déjà vu, especially as Collins scored last week too. So too did Andy Booth, who added a second for Huddersfield after half-time. Very much a goal of Barnsley's making, this one. Sloppy defensive play giving Paul Reed the opportunity to play the through pass, and Booth accepted the chance to score his 5th goal of the season, 3 of which have come in the Coca Cola Cup. On to Wednesday's games, and York City had the night of their lives at Old Trafford. Here's Rob Palmer.
The 3rd or 4th of October. Now Neville. Beckham outside of him. Beckham's cross, that's a lovely little cross, a dangerous cross, and it's McClare! Oh, just tipped over the bar by Kiley. Beckham is trying to get it to Giggs, didn't quite fall. Great control by the man in the number 7 shirt. No, it's not Cantona yet, it's Neville tonight. Barnes with a shot, takes a deflection, oh dear me, wrong-footed Kevin Pilkington, and York City have taken the lead at Old Trafford. McMillan. Arms go up, asking for offside, he wasn't, and that's got to be a penalty. Well, it's got to be a sending off, unfortunately, I think, for Pat McGibbon. I don't think there's any other alternative for the referee. Barnes had turned him, and the referee has no option other than to show the debutant red. And the night, which was going to be one to remember for Pat McGibbon, has turned into a nightmare for Pat McGibbon. And the referee has pointed to the penalty spot. I think the incident was outside the area. He's looking for a second goal, Barnes. He's got it, and you can feel the tremor around Great Britain. Pepper's cross. Easy for Bilkins. It's not, he's lost it! Oh my word, it's 3-0. Tony Barras rose above Kevin Pilkington then, This is the stuff that Roy the Rovers annuals are made of. Away York go, looking for a fourth. They can't quite believe there is. They've almost got one. Barnes is there, but he's offside. He thought he had his hat-trick then. And a better catch and cross for Pilkington, who runs into the substitute Atkin, who, to be fair to him, couldn't really get out of the way. Oh, it's really petty refereeing. That really is uncalled for. Nothing that Atkin could do to get out of the way there, which I think Pilkington was pointing out to the referee. That's silly. And the referee has gone card crazy this time. Barnes. No, it's not. It's Atkin. He's going to send him off. Oh dear me. Dear me. Referee. Paul Atkin, who was booked for blocking the goalkeeper inadvertently 2 minutes ago, he's now sent off for kicking the ball away. Steve Bruce playing now as a centre forward. It's all hands to the deck. There's a chance. McClare's in. The angle's tight. Can he get it there? No, he can't. That picture tells a very long and sad Manchester United story.
Gets it back from Loading. A useful cross. Allison coming in! Swindon in front. 25 minutes gone. Blackburn's problems continue. Wayne Allison the scorer. Swindon cock a hoop. Blackburn's confidence shattered again. O'Sullivan. Finney a target in the penalty area, and he's found the young Finney! It's 2-0! 2 goals in a minute! You can only begin to think the thoughts that are going through the head of Harford and Flowers. And that's 6 goals in 11 games now for Steve Finney, signed for nothing from Manchester City.
Not a bad little deal, that one.
Oh, they got one back. Excellent finish by Chris Sutton, and while Swindon were mentally perhaps celebrating their second goal, Blackburn hit them back. Sherwood towards Pearce, tried to thread it through. Sherwood's shot. Oh, it's at the underside of the bar. Unbelievable pressure here, and Henry with the shot finally that took the ball wide. Finney for Swindon, and he goes it alone. Needs some help surely. Well, does he? He's got a very useful cross in.
That was good play.
However, look at this, Blackburn looking very threatening now on the break with Shearer. Sutton ahead of him. Newell arriving as well, and the shot deflected in. Shearer didn't need anyone's help apart from the little deflection that made sure that with 3 minutes of the first half remaining, Blackburn have wiped out Swindon's 2-0 lead. Goes in long again towards Sutton, who chested it down to Lasso. Good run by him, and Shearer!
There's no danger, was it? Oh, dear, oh dear. What a great finish.
Digby knows the experience that so many goalkeepers have known before him, that Alan Shearer from that range is lethal. 5 minutes to go, Swindon looking dispirited, and hardly surprising. They were in dreamland for a few minutes in the first half. Still a chance for them here, and that could be a penalty, and is. Taylor is brought down, and they've got a marvellous opportunity to make it 3-3. Henry brought him down, and Bodin now has the chance from the spot to make it 3-3. Oh, it's a wonderful save from Flowers. You won't see many penalties harder hit than that. Perhaps not quite far enough away from the keeper, but still a great save.
Millwall's task tonight, obviously, is to get themselves a little in the bank for the second leg up at Goodison Park early next month.
Onside, here's Kerry Dixon. And across the... Oh, and Southall makes an astonishing save there from Lee McRoberts. And from one of his own defenders too, I fancy. But a great break by Millwall, and a super ball played in here by Kerry Dixon. And some excellent reactions from Neville Southall. Parkinson gets it forward to Rideout, challenged quickly though by Witter. Play there by Grant. Sandway's playing it on again. Grant is kept up with the attack. Plays the ball in now for Amakachi. And Keller threw himself brilliantly. It's a goal kick. But a great ball played in there for Amakachi. Robert plays it in. Flick on by Dixon. Comes to Parry. They claim a handball. Parry again, just wise. Millwall under pressure here. Knocked in by Rideout. That post was guarded by the Millwall defence, and in any case it went by for the goal kick.
Manneman. Right. Manneman takes over and on a run as well and gets the shot in. What a fantastic goal! Steve McManaman. Absolutely unstoppable that. And Liverpool's first convincing attack brings them a tremendous goal. Now Atkinson. Bracewell again. Bracewell weaving his way through and getting the 1-2 at Bracewell. Paul Bracewell. Penalty. And what will happen to David James? Great close control by Bracewell, and now we wait for the referee's card. And no card there. They've got the penalty, Sunderland, but James is there to see if he can save it. Michael Gray, and he saved it, and Gray follows up and over the top. And there'll be some controversy over that one. Redknapp swings it in. Fowler tried to get turned. A diving clearance there is by Phil Gray. This is Phil Babb. Tissier down for Thomas. That's a terrific goal. Michael Thomas, another great strike by Liverpool. They're pulling them right out of the hat for this one, and it's a cruel blow for Sunderland.
Steve Vickers, that's your local boy from Spennymoor area. Fjortoft, good control from him. Moreno will know there's a man outside him. This is Cox. That's good skill from Moreno in particular. Cox has got the chance to play a killer ball in here now. And that is the lead for Middlesbrough. Robbie Musto's head. And another corner, and that's a better one, and that's two. Fjortoft, I think, gets the final touch. He tells the crowd he did. Moreno. Pollock, who somehow managed to extricate himself from all those tackles. But it's with Rotherham now, the possession, and it's Gota, and he's in here, Gota, and a good finish from Sean Gota, and out of the blue, Rotherham have a goal back.
Dennis Wise just having words from the linesman as Keane picks the free kick. It's not a bad one either. Off the post from Iverson. Oh, what bad luck then for Stoke. Vets Iverson, the captain, on the end of that cross. Did really well then to force his way into the position, but then off the upright.
The referee has blown. Well, the referee had his hand up as though he was signalling a free kick, and John Moncur took advantage of the hesitation and cracked a superb shot into the back of the net. Well, Brian Parkin can't believe it. There was nothing on at all. Moncur has smashed it right into the top corner. No chance for the goalkeeper.
5 men in the wall. Perhaps a little nudge back towards Draper. It is. On the volley. What a fantastic goal. Good ball inside to York. Turning a will. Townsend goes down, and that is going to be a penalty. There'll be a chance for York. Will this be his second and Villa's second of the night? It is. To right. Oh, Johnson's breaking forward. He's got the pace as well. He's gone past his man. Will he finish it? He's brought down, and that is going to be the second penalty of the evening. And a chance for York to get his second penalty of the evening and to put Villa 3 goals ahead. It's so easy. Being encouraged to come forward. Every chance now. York might be underneath this one. Sheffield drops the ball. Townsend inside to Johnson. And there's the 4th goal. Johnson now looking for the ball over the top. It's a good one. York's going into the area, as is Draper. Johnson, superb play. York, though, couldn't quite get there. Comes to right. Still problems here for Peterborough. Gets on the right foot. Oh, a terrible mess up between the two players. And Aston Villa, their 5th goal of the evening. Wright's on the overlap. Southgate coming forward. Now to Wright. Back to Southgate, slightly overhit. Doing very well, might go for it. And again he turns inside, and there's the 6th goal. And the first goal in his Aston Villa career for Gareth Southgate.
Chester City were unlucky to find that multi-million-pound signing Chris Armstrong chose tonight to rediscover his scoring form. Having not scored for Tottenham since moving from Crystal Palace, he bagged 2 tonight, the first after 20 minutes. And if that hadn't meant enough to him, 10 minutes later, the second really did settle him down. He could finally begin to start paying back the faith that Spurs showed in him as a replacement for Jurgen Klinsmann. Just before half-time, Darren Anderton and Terry Sheringham combined. 2 England internationals. Chester City cannot feel too ashamed, 3-0 down at half-time. They had a much better second half, and it wasn't until the last minute of it that they were breached again. Ronnie Rosenthal with a header. 4-0 the final score.
With Dion Dublin injured, Kevin Richardson was Coventry captain for the night, leading his team onto the scoresheet against Hull with his first goal for the club. Richardson, along with his manager Ron Atkinson, won the Coca Cola Cup with Aston Villa 18 months ago, and it's the only competition that Neil Lamptey has scored in since moving to England. This was his first since following Atkinson to Highfield Road. Lamptey was involved in the night's other major talking point. His late challenge on Rob Dewhurst caused the Hull defender to retaliate off the ball. The camera didn't see it, but the officials did, and referee Richard Poulain showed a straight red card to Dewhurst. Hull kept it to 2-0 though, and are still just about in the tie.
A suspicion of offside went unnoticed when Steve Claridge put Birmingham ahead against Grimsby, but his second goal in 12 games was allowed to stand, and was then cancelled out by an impressive effort from Neil Woods, which brought appreciative applause from all parts of St Andrews. But Jonathan Hunt at least equalled that effort, perhaps even bettered it, by putting Birmingham back in front, adding no doubt a few more £1 million to manager Barry Fry's recent £28 million valuation of him. A satisfying 2-goal lead was claimed by Liam Daish, whose mistake had let West Bromwich Albion win Sunday's West Midlands derby. He'll be happier with this one though, and a 3-1 first leg win.
It'll be a much tougher task for Burnley meanwhile. They'll have to overcome a 2-0 scoreline after they lost to Mark McGee's Leicester City tonight. The first goal, a real shocker for them to watch again. Defenders standing around like statues, allowing Julian Joachim's knock down and Mark Robbins to fire home. That the only goal of the first half, then the only goal of the second, also not pretty watching either. Burnley keeper Marlon Beresford not able to handle Julian Joachim's shot, allowing it to squeeze under his body for that decisive second strike. The Burnley keeper deceived by the miss-hit. The final score 2-0.
At Elm Park, no goals until 20 minutes to go. Then West Bromwich Albion took the lead, Reading failing to clear properly, and Daryl Burgess heading in. But in the closing minutes, a late equaliser from Reading. Stuart Lovell's shot, making it 1 apiece. But West Brom will be happy enough to take that score back to the Hawthorns.
Bury weren't overawed by their First Division opponents when they travelled to Sheffield United. This despite going 1-0 down after just 6 minutes. Dane Whitehouse upended by Mark Sartori and confident enough to step up and put the home side ahead. But Bury settled down and in the second half actually equalised. Phil Stant, who else, that most prolific of marksmen, getting another for his ever-increasing collection and a great celebration to match. But all that good work was undone 6 minutes later by a scrappy goal. Carl Veert converting 2-1 the final score, but Bury will fancy their chances of reversing it at Gig Lane.
Wolves will be equally satisfied with their night's work, which started 4 minutes into the game with Fulham. Don Goodman had more time and space than most First Division defences would allow, and he made full use of it. But the good start didn't provide the impetus for a more impressive scoreline, and Wolves had to wait until the second half to extend their lead. Jermaine Wright punishing a defence that hadn't learned from its first half lesson.